Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about setting up an event. So an event is basically, the name of your show, where it encompasses all the different NCHA shows that makes up your weekend shows. So for example, if you have like a 3 or 4 day weekend show, it could be made up of 3 or 4 NCHA weekend shows with different show numbers, as well as possibly some aged event shows. So you could have 6, 7, 8 NCHA shows making up one. So for us to be able to sort it better on live scoring and to keep everything organized, we've created an events tab to where that would basically be the show name, and all your shows for that week or weekend would be covered under that event. So if you go to the events tab at the top, you'll go ahead and click the blue plus button. So in this case, you would give the show the name. We're going to call this one AZCHA September Bash, just for argument's sake. And then we're going to select the start date. So let's go ahead and start at this Friday the 8th, and it is going to end on Sunday the 10th. If you have a flyer on your website or a separate page that has all the information about this particular show, you can link that there. You can just copy and paste the URL for that web page in there. You can also choose a different icon if it's a different show logo or a different one than what you want to use from your regular show logo that's set up under the organizations tab. You don't have to fill anything out there if you don't want. Simply click save down at the bottom here, and you're all set. You've created your event, and now when you go to create shows, you can assign each show to this event. In order to search for other events, you can use your date range for any previous shows that you've set up or events that you've set up. You can look back. If you don't want to see all the events you've set up, you can narrow it down just by future dates, that sort of thing. So that's purely a filter. If you don't see all your events on this page, then just make sure that you've selected the right date range to cover all those events that you want to see. We're going to go ahead and assign some shows to that one. So we're going to go ahead and create our shows by going to the shows tab. We're going to click on the blue plus, and if we're creating a new empty show, we can do that, or we can copy and paste one in from a previous show. So for this purpose, we're going to name this the AZCHA Weekend Show, and we'll just put Friday on there. And what we're going to do then is we're going to assign it to the event that we've created. So if you've got multiple events, make sure you select the right event. So here's the September Bash, and then we're going to go ahead and say this particular show is going to be on September 8th. And then you can enter, if you've just got one arena and you already know your judge, you can put that in here. If you're going to have multiple judges, then you would put those in at the time of the class, depending on which judge is judging which arena, if you've got multiple arenas. So for right now, we're just going to click create, and then we would go through and fill out the show application and check whether we're going to have Senior World Tour. And then once that's all been approved from NCHA, you would add your show numbers in here. I'm just going to click save for right now. So it's an empty show, and you can see here under shows, I've got the AZCHA Weekend Show Friday. Now, if I have an aged event that same day, I would just go through the same process. AZCHA LAE Show, and we'd put Friday, or you can put the date in there, whatever you need to do to be able to identify that show. Assign that the same way. Select your date, September 8th. And again, the judges you can add later if you need to. Fill out the show app, click save, and then you're going to see those there. And just remember, if you don't see them, check your date range up here, because if that date is set to, let's say, there, so it's a future date, you don't see it. So make sure that you set your date range to be able to see those shows. And so now you've got the AZCHA September Bash, and it's going to be made up of those shows there, and you can see over here under the event column that they're assigned to that event. Another thing, when you have your show and you've got your show app, you'll see on the event side here that the event has been selected. Now, if you've already created some shows and you had not assigned an event to them, you can come back in here later into that show and create your event first, and then go back in here and assign these shows to that event. So you can do it, the other way around if you need to, if you hadn't created your event first already.